This is author, Coach Keandria Ragland. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Listen, I am so excited today. This is a soul space and healing today. And listen, this is a right on time, a right on time, a right on time moment. I don't know, but the summer is coming in. Many of us, we're ready to get out. We're ready to take vacations, spread our wings, and that's the word I want to use. It's time to step out. And so again, for you all that's tuning in, I want you to come on in, come on in. I want you to I want you to share, because you never know who this message is for. And so again, I am author, Coach Keandria Ragland. I work with Christian professional women, helping them to identify limiting beliefs, right? As a burnout coach, I'm working with individuals with goal setting, where we can have a balance, healthy wealth, healthy boundaries, healthy lifestyle. We're goal setting, so we're not bringing stress from work home and home stress to work. And so if you need an accountability coach, if you need a coach to help you with just goal setting, whether it's day to day, week to week, or just a yearly plan, helping to keep you on track, helping you just to have a balance of life, right? So we're not running around here discombobulated. You know how we do, because we are go-getters, right? But we want to be productive, not just busy, but we want to be productive. And so with that being said, She's Purposeke community. You know how we do it. We want to congratulate the new author in the house tonight. So let's celebrate her. Woo, 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 woo. Congratulations. You are strong. You are courageous. You are bold. As I told you when we came on, that smile, girl, that you have is contagious. It's contagious. So I want you to continue that set the room alone. When you walking into the room, you set the vibe with that positive energy. And so keep that smile, keep that beautiful smile. And so I want you to come on in, let the people know who you are.
Thank you so much for having me here, Keandria. I appreciate it. So I am Evelyn Wiggins. I am an interior alchemist. I'm an interior designer, and I am the founder of Enam and the creator of SoulSpace. So SoulSpace is my design philosophy that I created. And I'm a storyteller of sacred things. I create healing spaces, and not just in homes, but in your hearts. I'm kind of reading from my thing that I created. From books to affirmations to sacred designs, is rooted in restoration, identity, and reclaiming softness as power.
Awesome. So tell us when this journey started for you.
Well, honestly, this journey, it's been years in the making. It wasn't just one just moment that I woke up and said, hey, this is my aha moment.
Mm-hmm.
It started in the quietest moments. I've been a designer for 14 years. And I not recently, but I just went through a really tough divorce. I was a victim of domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
And then with that, along with that, I suffered just years of racism in interior design. And so just going through that, just enduring all of that. And, just with the abuse, I wanted to just kind of reclaim myself, so that's just where it started, just going through years of just quietly suffering, and just going through years of not really having my voice just be heard. So I wanted to reclaim that, and that's how I started.
Awesome. So that's key word. Reclaim yourself,
Hmm.
right? Um,
Hmm.
so if you had a mission today,
Hmm.
that mission to keep you going, keep you motivated, keep you leading each and every day, what would it be?
My mission is to not be invisible, is to walk into a room and to own it. To know that when you walk into a room that you own that space, that you're there, you're showing up as who you are, you're walking in your truth, and that you're allowed to be there no matter where you are. You don't have to code switch. You don't have to be somebody that you're not. You're reclaiming your power wherever you are.
Right.
So that's my mission, is to be who you are. Everybody is here for a purpose, and this is my purpose. So that's my mission, is to get women to just step into their greatness, step into their power, and to just be who they are with love and, just own it.
Yes, I love it. So when you say own it, can you
Hmm.
elaborate a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, if like for me, as I've always been the only Black interior designer, and so that's why I started my own company. What prompted me to start my company is just years of just feeling like the only one, not getting my voice out there, feeling like I had to shrink. And
Mm,
so when I was called the N word at work last year, that prompted me to leave. And I said, you know what? I I'm gonna own who I am. I'm gonna step into my own company, and I'm just gonna be who I am. Either they accept me, I'm gonna come with the big hair, I'm gonna come with the bold lips, I'm gonna come with my all of my African authenticity, and just be who I am. I'm a Christian woman, I'm a bold woman, I'm a feminine woman, and that's who I am. I'm going to own the room. I'm going to own my truth. You
yes,
know, I'm feminine. I can be soft. I can be bold. That's who I am. So that's what I mean by own it. If that's who you are, then that's who you are. You don't have to code switch for anybody.
right. So the new release that you have coming out, what's the name of it?
So it's called Sacred Bloom. I released that last month.
Okay.
And so I have a new one coming out too, but I released Sacred Bloom last month, and it's like a love letter. It's half love letter, half poetry.
Okay. Okay. So that was released last month, and so you have a
Hmm.
new one coming.
Yeah. Hmm. I do.
Is it like a volume one, volume two? What is
So this one is a love letter to men.
okay?
It's
Let's
called He
talk about it.
Deserves.
We listen. We ain't discriminating. Listen, we stepping out. We stepping out. It's about to be
Yeah.
summertime. So not only are we as women is in that sacred space, but we have some
Uh-huh.
men there as well. So let's say
Yeah.
we need to be healed both ways, men and women,
We
for us
do.
to come together as one, to love each other the right way, right? To love
Yeah.
each other in a healthy way. So,
Yeah.
can you share a little bit about both?
And I'm glad you mentioned that word, healed. And that's exactly where my soul space philosophy started, because like I said, when I was going through my divorce and the abuse and the racism, I felt like I had literally like no place to really be myself. So I started with my home. I wanted my home. I felt like a stranger in my own home. So that's where my philosophy started. I felt like, okay, what can I do to my home to make it feel like, this is my sacred space. And so that's what Sacred Bloom is. I have rituals in there that teaches you about misting, and when people think rituals, they think of like witchcraft. That's not what it, because it's rituals in the Bible.
Hmm.
That's all it is. It's just things that you do daily. So, just how to mist your space to create peace. And so that's exactly what the book for men is as well. It teaches you how to create a healing environment. So when you come into your home, you're able to just leave all of the stuff that, that causes you stress and anxiety, just leave it out the door. You
Mm-hmm.
know, when you come into your home, when you come across that threshold, this is your sanctuary,
Yes.
you know. And so this should be your peace, and it should be a place that heals you, and you shouldn't allow certain things to come into your house. And so, as an interior designer, and that's why I call myself an interior alchemist, because you should bring certain things into your house, certain elements, and take certain things out of your house that that doesn't cause if things are chaotic, you need to remove them from your house.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't create peace, take it from your house.
Mm-hmm.
you know so like I said, that's why I'm glad you brought up that word healing, because that's exactly where soul space, that's where it started.
Yes, I love it, and I agree. When we come home, you want to come to a place of peace. We deal with
Yeah.
enough outside of outside of the doors, right? And so when you
Yeah.
get inside, you want to create the atmosphere, um, and identify those things that's creating, chaos, or creating a place where you feel tense or uncomfortable. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So what's your strategy on that? Like, for like you mentioned, like, creating peace, creating that, atmosphere, and removing those things
hmm Well,
that
that's
need
what
to
I
be
talk
removed.
about in the healing blueprint.
Okay.
So I break it down in the healing blueprint, and then I also have another book coming up soon. It's called Interior Alchemy. So I
Okay.
haven't started writing that yet, but I'm going to have that book coming out soon, and I'm also going to have, later on down the line, I'm going to be teaching courses on that and have a certification program for that.
Okay.
So,
So
but in the healing
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
so in the healing blueprint, I break it down for you.
Okay.
So,
So I
hmm
was going to say her website is at the bottom of the screen. I will also be scrolling through her website here in just a few minutes as we are going through the interview, so she can elaborate a little bit more. And so, with that being said, I would like to ask you, you are an example and an inspiration for women who has been in rooms that you felt that was not built for you, and even in rooms where you were not accepted. So my question to you is, what was your response, and how did you use that as a positive influence for yourself?
listen, it didn't feel good. I'm going to be honest with you. Um, I've had, I remember when I started working at one of my jobs, I had people going to my supervisor complaining about my hair, you know, and just, it didn't feel good. But what I did was I stayed true to myself. And I was left off of emails. I got treated like the help. Just all kind of things. But I used that anger to fuel myself to be better. Because when you're discriminated against, especially as a person of color, you have to work 30 times harder.
Mm,
And so my resume looked, like it was padded up. It was good. I had to work extra hard, get extra qualifications just to be just as good. And so I would stay at work longer hours, work longer hours, get extra certifications. I was just running myself ragged, and I
mm,
just got tired, you know? And so after I was called an N word, I was just done. I was done. And I said, I'm just going to start my own business.
right.
So hopefully that
Okay.
answered your question. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, you did. So you the positive influence for yourself was definitely was you creating your own, for one.
yeah,
Um, and like you said, you was putting in work, you know. Um,
yeah.
and a lot of
I
times
was
we
stressed.
credential after credential,
Yeah,
trying to climb the ladder, only to still not be accepted, right?
yep, yep.
And so I want you to talk about, even when it came to you creating your own, um, when it comes to individuals going to your website purchase your book, the new release and the upcoming, what should they expect to walk away from? Like, how who is your book speaking to?
So my book speaks to Black women and Black men. It speaks, that's who my audience is. And because I'm speaking to my mirror, I'm speaking to myself. I'm speaking to I'm giving advice to myself. Some I want something that I wish that somebody would have told me. You know what I'm saying? So that's the advice that I'm giving. And so yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm treating it like a kind of like a big sister.
Yes.
And I just want to be there for people,
Yes.
because yeah. And I don't want to, look at it as like everything is gloom and doom, because it's not. But this is just the world that we're living in, and I just want to just lead with love and example out there. But and that's why I created this book for healing spaces. Like I said, we deal with so much out in the world. That's why your home should be your sanctuary, in addition to churches and things like that. But your home should be your safe haven, you know,
Right.
because I am an interior designer and that's my passion. And I create spaces that reflect that.
And in creating your space in your content, I noticed that you focus a lot on being intentional. You talk about softness and you talk about your soul. So, can you kind of give a definition of intentional, softness, and soul? And in those three definitions, how individuals can use it when it comes to their own self terms?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I say intentional, I mean, when I say that, it's living on purpose, being present in how you decorate, how you speak, how you rest, how you love. It means not just, surviving, but choosing what surrounds you. And when I say softness, I don't mean it in a form of weakness. Softness is radical, it's emotional intelligence, it's healing, it's grace, it's slowing down enough to feel, and it's what makes our power sustainable. And when it comes to soul, soul is your essence. It's a part of you that existed before the world told you who you are.
Mm-hmm.
um when your content has a space or soul, it has soul. When your content has when your content when your content or space has soul, it heals others just by existing.
Yes.
So that's what I mean by that.
I love the fact that you said slow down enough to
Hmm.
feel. So let's talk a little bit about that, because I used to say, especially with us as, dealing with different feelings and different emotions, we seem to
Hmm.
just cover it up by busyness, right?
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
I once in my burnout course, I talk about, you know, taking time to just breathe, you know, taking
Hmm.
those short breaks in between a busy workday, whether it's 5 minutes, whether it's 10 minutes, just to breathe, right? And it's even
Hmm.
when we get emotional or tense or frustrated and things don't go our way, or we just feel, overextended. It's
Hmm.
okay to feel, but don't stay in your feelings, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So when we make that statement, from your perspective, when it comes to our sacred space in our sacred healing, what are some healthy ways that we can continue to um, practice in that area?
So for me, in addition to running my business, I'm a full time caregiver for my mom. So for me, what it looks like is taking just, a few minutes to listen to a book,
Mm-hmm.
or a few minutes to pray or meditate or walk my dog. You have to find a few minutes to center yourself again,
Mm-hmm.
because you can't give from an empty cup, and like you said, don't call it busyness, call it being productive. You have to take time to center yourself and to refocus back on you. And because you're always going to come first. You can't put other people first. You have to always focus on yourself. Always remember that, your health is important. You're important. You got to do for yourself. And it's not being selfish. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's sacred. Your time
Yes.
is sacred. All of
Yes.
that is sacred. And people tend to forget that.
I know one of the things that I have started doing and been doing for a while now is have a calendar, right? And set your
Yeah.
schedule. And even if, like, for me, I know for me, I'm going to say, even if it's just taking an extra 2 hours after work to, just decompress, on my couch in a quiet area, no TV, no phone, and just
Yeah.
lay there. Like, for real, that's a part of my schedule.
Yes.
Somebody say, "Are you busy between 6 and 7 or 6 and 8?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Well, what you doing?" It's on my me time, right? Me
Yeah. Set
time,
those
because
boundaries.
you have poured into others. Now you have to pour
Yeah.
back into yourself, right?
Yeah. You got
And
to
that's,
set those boundaries.
yeah, you got to set those boundaries. And even like you have been talking about, just creating that space. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, like when you're decorating homes,
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm sure that each room can set a different atmosphere, right? So if
Yeah.
you could give some tips on, like, certain, and like certain things that you could put in rooms, like different rooms, to maybe set a different type of vibe,
Mm-hmm.
um what would it be?
I mean, it just depends. What do you mean as far as
Like,
like
for
what?
us, like, some rooms may have more of a lighter light, right?
Yeah. So you can
And
do different textures. You can do different colors. Each color. So there's this thing called color psychology,
okay.
and each color represents a different mood, right?
Yes.
And even textures. And like I said, I talk about that in my book, The Healing Blueprint. So each texture and each color represents a different mood. And so when I design, that's what I do. So all of my clients that I work with, and even when I work on big projects, because most of my design work for the past 10 years has been in government.
Hmm.
And so, and I did, residential, but everything that I do is intentional. So for each room, if you're trying to create a specific mood or whatever for each room, then you want to be intentional with whatever textures that you're putting in that room, whatever colors you're putting in that room, so you could create that specific environment, that atmosphere. If you're trying to create like a romantic feel or a calm, then there's, specific colors and textures that you want to choose.
Okay.
So,
So
hmm
is this like on your website, or is this something that you offer, like if someone wants to reach out to you and say, "Hey, I need some help," and because not only
hmm
are we creating the space in the room, but this is also, it's mental, it's mental health.
it is.
It's mental
Yeah,
health.
I offer consultations. So that's on my website as well.
Okay. So
hmm
what can you talk a little bit about your services?
Yeah, so I offer 1 hour consultations. And if you want to, book a consultation with me, that's on my website. You can just go on there and click the link and just book a consultation with me. So I offer that as well. And so yeah, we can talk about that. And then it's also in my book, The Healing Blueprint. I go in deep about colors and textures as well.
Okay. And so again, you all support, support, support. Her website is here at the bottom of the screen. I have put her website several times already in the comment for you to go visit her website. And I have shared the website. And as you see, just by pulling up the website, I mean, it's a vibe for me, like,
Thank you.
yeah. So I really love what you are doing.
Thank
Do
you.
you have a copy of one of your books with you?
I don't have one. I don't have one here physically with me. I just started doing um, paperback and hardcover,
Okay.
like
Okay.
literally yesterday.
Okay. So most of them are ebooks.
Correct.
Okay. So most of the
But
blueprints
I do
are
have print. I do have print now. I started yesterday.
okay. So you heard her. So okay. So listen, this is what I would love for you to do if you are able.
Mhm.
I wanted you to share because you said one of them is kind of like poetry.
The Sacred Bloom is.
Okay, so I wanted you to share a little bit out of one. Is that something you have access
Yeah.
to? Okay.
Yeah. If you give me a moment, give me a second. Let me pull it up. I have it open here.
So while you're looking for that, I wanted to ask you, how did you come up with um, the image? What prompted that vision on your
For
or this the one that we just shared? I'm gonna put it back up. Um,
Sacred
for the
Bloom,
sacred bloom, yes, for the sacred bloom.
I wanted an image of a black woman's silhouette.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted something feminine, but also powerful.
Yes, yes. So the
So that.
flowers that's
Mhm.
coming off of the black woman,
Mhm.
does it symbolize anything?
No, just feminine,
Okay.
feminine power.
Feminine
I
power.
wish I had
Okay.
something more deep.
Huh?
I wish I had something more deeper than
No,
that.
I just no. I like to because sometimes
Well, it
certain
symbolizes.
things symbolize things, and you don't we don't know
Yeah.
unless we ask. So that's part of me, especially when it comes to the sacredness and the
Yeah.
bloom and the healing part of it. Because when we looking at art, I look at it as an art, and
Yeah.
you definitely, in my personal opinion, you have a special type of art. Even within your personality, you have a special type of art.
Oh, thank you.
It's a positive type of art, right? So when you look at a thing, when you see a thing,
Mhm.
you may, and especially with even decorating, you have a touch for decorating. When people walk into your space, they see a thing, they feel a thing. So it's either going to bring a calmness, it's either going to bring a different type of energy, like a positive energy, like an upbeat energy, right? And
Yeah.
so, I mean, I feel that because there are certain rooms you can walk in, you be like, oh, I feel so relaxed. You
Mhm.
can walk in a certain room, you be like, you was feeling calm and maybe relaxed, and then you just like energized, motivated, like it just So you have that anointing on you, and so
Mhm.
that's why I wanted to ask.
Well, and then it's good you say that because that's where the color psychology comes in with that's what I was saying about moods, the paint colors, all of that is energy.
Yes.
So all of that carries energy.
And so is that
And
why
I
sometimes you be
talk about
like, so for me, I say this and I'm asking because you know how sometimes you don't be feeling a certain color on it. Like I be like, you know what? I ain't feeling yellow today. I'm feeling purple today. I don't feel like
Yeah.
really wearing it. I don't want to wear that black today. Like that's
Yeah.
but like today, I was in a mood like
Hmm.
I'm wearing that black today. I'm this is the type of mood I'm in, right? Doesn't mean that
Yeah.
you in a dark mood or you in a sad mood, but
Hmm.
again, it makes it. Some things just is makes a difference.
Yeah. You want to
And then
feel,
we coordinated.
sleek
I
and
don't know
elegant.
why I do that a lot, but when I'm interviewing people, be like, they be like, "Oh, we got the same color on." And I be like, "We got listen." It be the Holy Spirit. So even today,
Right.
I normally don't go for the black and white, but I went for the black and white today. And yeah, you got black
I
on,
know
so
we're
look,
like,
praise to
we're here.
God. But go
Hey.
ahead, go ahead. I like to just again just give the audience as much as possible when it comes to your vision, your mission, and what it is that you're called to do.
Mm-hmm. All
Yes.
right. So I'm going to read the introduction from Sacred Bloom. All right. So this book is not about flowers. It's about survival. It's about rage dressed in eucalyptus and grief folded into throw pillows. It's about the woman who knows how to make things look good while everything inside her is falling apart. You've mastered the aesthetic. You've misted the room while holding back tears. You've lit candles with shaking hands. You've folded blankets, fluffed pillows, and vacuumed shame off your floor. You've learned to curate calm while battling chaos, not because you're dramatic, but because no one ever taught you how to scream. This book is for the woman who tried to design her way out of heartbreak, who chose neutral tones to silence the noise in her head, who sat in clean kitchens with a shattered spirit and said, "At least it looks good." This isn't a home styling guide. This is a reckoning because beauty has been your lifeline. Your home has been your altar and your battlefield. And deep down, the way you design isn't just about taste, it's about control, safety, a desperate, sacred attempt to feel whole again. I wrote this for the woman who feels ashamed for needing pretty things, for the one who gets overwhelmed and clutter but calls herself lazy, for the one who's been told she's too sensitive, too picky, too much. No, sis, you are not too much. You were just never given enough softness to feel safe in.
I love it. Absolutely love it. And is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience about the book, and why should they just why should they purchase that book today or tomorrow?
Because I wrote this book. I mean, I think this book right here it's an honest talk with with yourself as a
Mhm.
woman.
Yes, I like it.
You
Yes.
know, it breaks down just all of the all of the walls that we as women, all of the expectations that we're always like required to keep. People always expect so much from us and expect our house to be a certain they want us to have the house a certain way, they want us to look a certain way, but at the end of the day, sometimes all we want to do is just come home, miss the space, take a bath, and just be.
Yeah,
You know what
and
I'm
it's
saying?
okay, and it's okay,
It's okay. It's
and
okay
it's
to be that way.
okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, yeah,
And
and it's
so,
okay. I just want to say that because I had to make
yeah.
myself know it's okay. Like
Yeah.
taking things day by day.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I have a priority list and I can't get to it all today. So
Yeah.
maybe I was supposed to balance my book. Maybe when I got off work, I was supposed to, wash my clothes, wash the
Yeah.
dishes. I have this, all this, but again, maybe I wasn't able to get to, balancing my book today. I was able to get to my dishes. Maybe I was
Yeah.
supposed to fold up my clothes today. Maybe I didn't get to my
Yeah.
clothes today. So but I
It
make
has.
myself to say, okay, I didn't get to it today, but
Yeah.
I did accomplish A and B, but I just didn't get to
Yeah.
C and D. So I'm
And that's all right.
tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
I get to that. Yeah, I'm still gonna get to it, right? It's just that today
Yeah.
I didn't get to it, right? So giving yourself
Yeah.
a little bit of grace,
Exactly.
because sometimes for us, as I always go back to speaking for me, but we're not say for us because everybody have different priority lists. Everybody, and then we do have some that are perfectionists, right? But
Yeah, that's me. I'm a perfectionist.
sometimes I'm like,
Yeah.
is it worth the stress?
Yeah.
Especially with for me, my kids are, I don't have any. I'm an empty nester now. There was a time where I was all over town with the kids. From the kids to to being a daughter to being a wife to what I'm saying. And so
Yeah.
so there was no room really to just breathe.
Exactly.
And so
Yeah.
I'm glad we're talking about this space because even as I matured, I learned not even before I start practicing the calendar, I learned to say, which may not, this is what I done. It's kind of like a timeout corner for me. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
I'm going to timeout. This is my timeout space. My timeout space was me, whether it was in the den where the TV was and just me watching a show that I wanted to watch on a Tuesday. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, this
Yeah.
is my timeout space. Or if it was just, going in my bedroom and shutting the door, they knocking on the door. I'm like, this is my timeout space, right? But
Yeah.
that was my space that they knew that it's time out for her. You're right.
Yeah.
So, and then it's difficult sometimes when once you start it because they think like you're just not paying them any attention. But we give you attention all day, every day. We running you
Exactly.
to football, we running you to basketball, we running you, to dance practice or whatever it may be. We after our 8 to 5s, we giving you an extra time. So I deserve. So you have to go back to say, like you said, I deserve. If it's just
Exactly.
a special show that I want to watch on Tuesdays, I deserve
Yeah.
this 1 hour for myself. When I go to the
Yeah.
bathroom, if I want to stay in there extra 10 minutes, let me stay in there extra 10 minutes. But I
Yeah.
just
Right.
say that because again, it's a part of our space,
Yeah.
and you deserve to have that space to breathe, to
You.
reset. I call it reset, because that's
Yeah.
what you have to push the reset button. Okay, stop,
Yeah.
breathe, reset.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because that also, when we don't take that and look at it as a sacred space, when we
Mm-hmm.
think about our spirit, when we think about our soul, when we
Yeah.
don't take that time and we don't take that space, and I love that you are emphasizing space because space is so important. Space, like
Yes.
sometimes, like
Have to
even
make it sacred.
if like you said, if it's like if I'm in a bedroom or if I'm in my office, dirtiest office, you work from home, you in an office, you in a different part of your house that you consider your office.
Yeah.
Get up from that space.
Yeah.
Get out of that dining room, bedroom that you consider your office from 8 to 5, and then you want it to be your bedroom. No, you gotta move from
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You gotta move from that space because this is where you have been all day, and it's a different type of energy. It's a different type of atmosphere that you're setting, and
You have
it's
to shift.
important that we do this because it
Yeah.
impacts our behavior,
It
right?
does.
It's
Have to
impact.
shift. Mm-hmm.
Talk about it.
Yep. Shifted and missed the air and yeah, all that energy. Yep.
Yes, energy in the it's the energy for me.
Yeah.
It's the energy, and I can simply get up from my office. Like right now, where I am today is it's my office. So I do. I work full time. I interview in this space, but when I get up out this space, I'm going to a different space because now I need to set a different type of atmosphere because it's now time to unwind,
Yeah.
you know. And so
Yeah.
I ain't about to take, and even taking I don't know where I'm going here, but even just taking that hat off, like, just
Uh-huh.
that I gotta be serious all day. Like I don't know why I'm
Yeah.
going there, but there's somebody that think they just supposed to carry that serious face all day long, that professionalism all day long. No, boo, take it off.
Be
Be
the Scrooge
you.
all day. The Grinch.
It's okay to laugh. It's okay. I used
Right?
to have some people to say, loosen up, laugh a little bit,
Crack
laugh a
a
little
smile,
bit.
sis.
Talk about it. Listen, talk about it. So,
Get
I,
somebody a hug, sis.
yes, I love it. I just feel that with you for real. Like you would be that person where you be like, loosen up, like get somebody a
Right?
hug, like laugh a little
Put
bit.
the knife down.
Listen, laughter is good medicine. It's good
It
medicine
is.
for it's good medicine for the soul. So I love it. I love it. I love it when we get to talking about creating this space. I'm going to let you give last words. I feel like it's been a great interview, a great
Thank
time.
you.
Yes, a great time. So if there's anything else that you would like to share, whether it's with the sisters or whether it's with the men, because again, in the future, I actually have a couple of new releases from men, and they have been asked to come on a show. And
Okay.
so, God is shifting just a little bit where it's not just about us. It's about us. Yes, it's about us. It's about us as
Yeah.
women. But many of us, and I speak for myself, um, we haven't, whether you married or whether you divorced, whether you're single, whether you're dating, we haven't given up on love, but we do want healthy love, right?
Exactly.
So we want healthy love, and I think, and I'm very connected. God is really connecting me with um, people of ministry. Um, Sometimes I ask God, Lord, why everyone that I've been connected to, um, is ministering in some type of way. We may not call it, ministry, but you are. You minister. You've been a minister to the soul. You've been a minister to the spirit. Mental health. Dealing with our heart issues. The whole being of who we are, because we have to. It all to me sinks in. Your well being of your mind, your heart, your soul, your walk, your talk, your being. Even when it comes to like certain behaviors, right? Like you may not what we call body language. There it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
What we call body language, right? Because
Yeah.
depending on how you feeling that day, or how somebody have rubbed you wrong or said something wrong to you, whether it was nice or whether it was good, you got this whole body language and you don't even realize you're carrying this body language, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so yeah, it's a whole impact. It's a whole impact. And so my mission, as She's Purpose Key, is when it comes to book talks, it is about purpose. It's about intentionality. It's about energy. It's about soul, right? And
Mhm.
so I just wanted to say that, that's why I felt like, when I really looked at your mission and looked at your website, it was a connection even with grief. So why I'm saying that, I wanted you to talk just a little bit about how your blueprints can help with those who are dealing with grief.
I mean, it can help with all aspects. It helps you center on just taking care of yourself, taking care of your home, taking care of your space, taking care of your mind, being intentional with what you're doing with your surroundings, with your heart, with your words, with everything. And when you're dealing with grief, it can be hard when you're going through something, you know. I've dealt with grief before. Everybody deals with grief differently. You know, for some it is something that they put off and they deal with it later. And for some it's something that they go through instantly, but it's always fragile. You know what I mean? And it's something that's sacred. And I think grief is something that we all carry together as a unit. You know, so say somebody in the family passes away, you carry it together as a unit. You know, so as far as my books dealing with it, um, I think my healing blueprint book, Sacred Bloom, all of it teaches you how to just be intentional, uh, just just live on purpose, design on purpose, all of that. Just
Yes,
it just
yes,
yeah,
yeah. And I like that you emphasize the intentionality even with grief, and speaking that grief is a unit, because you have to realize you're not the only one hurting.
yeah,
You're not the only one hurting. Even in knowing when you lose someone, whether it's death, whether it's you know, and grief, like you said, grief come in different forms. And I think for me, I have experienced all, and that's losing a loved one, kids moving out the house, right? Divorce, losing a pet, you know,
mhm,
um, and even in transition from moving from one place to another.
mhm,
Because what you deal with is it's a transition, it's a life adjustment, right?
mhm,
It's it's
yeah,
it's no more of feeling comfortable. Now you're in a place of uncomfortable, and now you have to find a place to start over new,
yeah,
right? What you have been accustomed to, for some time. Now it's readjustment, whether it's in breaking a routine. Your routine have been a certain way, and all of
yeah,
that is mental. But
yeah,
you have to set that positive atmosphere, that
mhm,
positive space, and that space can be, from your home. Some like there's times where I don't had to rearrange the whole bedroom. There's times where I don't had to
yeah,
rearrange the whole living room. That oh
yeah,
new. That's old. It's new. It's
yeah,
which is,
eh,
some we gotta we get rid of some things
yeah,
and create a brand new space. And that's where she comes in at, right? So where are you
yeah.
located? Where are you located?
I'm in Boynton Beach, Florida.
Okay, you in Florida. So do you
Yeah, that's one.
travel?
I do, but I am mainly digital.
Okay.
So,
So
hmm
how does that work for you to be digital? Like, are you
so
able to help create people, like tell people, like shop online, like
I
people,
am.
you can see people's
Yeah,
rooms?
yeah, I do. I just had a client in Texas.
Okay.
Hmm
So the website that we are sharing,
hmm
they can go to that website and book a consultation with you, correct?
Yes, and then we'll do it over Zoom.
Okay. So how much
Hmm
is the consultation? The first one.
It's $97.
Okay.
And it just depends on the size of your room. You know, I give you a special quote, so we'll take it from there. But the first consultation is 97.
I love it. And so is there a particular like and I don't want you to give everything away, but at the same time, like when it comes to like shopping, like just redoing your whole room or just making,
Hmm
slight changes, is there a certain brand or website that you use versus another?
No,
Okay. Okay. So
no, it
do you
depends
kind of get a feel
your
of
your
do you get a
budget.
feel of the people's style, the feel of the
I do,
person's personality? Okay. Okay.
I do.
Well,
I
listen,
send over.
that's what we
Um,
needed to know. That's what we needed to know, right? And so
yeah,
listen.
I have a questionnaire that I send over. So that I created. So I send over a questionnaire. Hmm
Okay. Yes. Listen, sometimes it has to go on until what needs to be released needs to be released. And there's no reason for anyone to be stuck. Um,
Mm-hmm.
no reason. No reason. So I want you all to again support, support, support. I want you to congratulate her. I want you to share. I want you to like. I want you to love. Sis, before we leave tonight, please give the audience your social media handles or where they can follow you.
So I am on Facebook as Evelyn Wiggins. I do have a page, Enom Interiors, but I don't really go on there. So Evelyn Wiggins, and I'm on Threads as SoulSpace by Enom. I'm also on TikTok, SoulSpace by Enom.
Okay, can you spell that last part?
It's SOULSPACE_BY_EN as in November, AM as in Mike.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to an end of She's Purpose Key Book Talks, and I really appreciate you taking out this special time in your day to listen
Thank you.
to a new author of today. And so we want to say we love you. If nobody has told you that they love you today, we're going to say we love you, we love you, we love you. Take time for yourself, love yourself, create that space, and we see you next week. Bye.